cloud. And there we go. Make sure I can let people in. But so tonight I wanted just to go through of how to start a blog. So I recently have gotten back into doing mine, and I'm starting sort of over again. I had a travel one before I had kids, all of that. And now that I travel with my son all the time, I sort of wanted to go back and start that from the beginning. And I figured while I was doing that, I could sort of walk through with everyone of how to start their own blog. Because I remember we were talking about all these different things that everyone wanted to do, and blogging was a really big one that I saw. And there's a couple of different little things, and starting your own blog is actually really simple and with your own website. So I know a lot of people see like Wix and WordPress.com and those ones were really like drag and drop of where your website's going to be, and it looks really simple to use. And one of my big sort of holdups with using those sites though is all the content that you're putting onto them doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to that site. And so that's why sort of taking the slightly longer route of picking your name and paying for the domain and the hosting is really important. So I have all the little tabs brought up so we can walk through of how to do this on your own, because it's super simple. It just seems really complicated. So let me share my screen. Where's that button? I know, there it is, the big green button. There we go. But so the hosting site that I use is actually Bluehost, and there's a couple of different ones you can go through. And there's like GoDaddy, and there's all different kinds. But I've had really good luck with Bluehost. I've had them for, gosh, the first blog and website that I put together was probably 5 years ago now. And so I've used them a lot, and I've done a couple of websites through them. And one of the first things that you're going to have to do is choose a name. So choosing a name for your blog and what that URL is going to be. And there's a couple of things to keep in mind while choosing this is to come up with 3 or 4 that you really like, because there's always that chance that it's taken. And also making sure that it's sort of short and sweet and to the point, making it easy for people to remember, because you don't want them to forget when they're trying to like type it in or make mistakes. The longer it is, the harder it is to remember. So you want something like really short and sweet. And so we're just going to walk through. If you go on Bluehost, there's different ones that you can choose, but you can look up as you're sort of choosing names. You can look up Bluehost domain search, and it's going to bring you here where you can sort of type in and get an idea of if that domain is available or not. Because it's always like the pitch when you go on and you're like, I love this name. This is my like blog name, and it's not available. But once you get your blog's name, it's all set to go. You're going to have to buy that name. And most of them are about $15. That's about the most I've spent. Some end up being more, and that's usually people that have bought those domains and are reselling them for a higher price. So, but we're just gonna see if my name's available. You press search, and it's gonna tell you if it's available or not. So this one is available. And so if I wanted to buy this domain, my name, it gives me the option right over here, and it's $13 for the year. And so I always keep, when I'm in my cart, it has a little toggle switch for auto renewing every year, which I like to keep on so I don't forget, because there are, I don't know if it's still a thing. I remember when I was setting mine up, they're like, make sure it's on, because there are people that sort of like watch for them to expire. They'll go and buy them so that way they can resell them for more. So I always keep it on that. But once you have finished doing all of that, let me go to my Bluehost and log in. And I'll show you what sort of the inside of it all looks like. So you've bought your name, let that load. So you got your URL name, your domain. So when you log in, I accidentally have like 2 Bluehost sites. So this is my one that has my other hobby before I started Thrive, my photography stuff, and it's gonna show up right here. And so I'll log out. I can show you what it looks like before you buy the hosting portion of it. So there's 2 sort of separate parts to this. You've bought your domain, which is what you would type in the URL that people look you up. But until you get hosting, then you don't have anywhere for all of your content to be stored. So the hosting is what's storing all of your content. And let me log out and log on to the other one real quick. Come on. Oh, there we go. So this one I've not actually bought the hosting for yet because I wanted to wait so that way I could sort of show you what it looks like before. So on Bluehost, you go to my sites, and right now I don't have any sites technically. And so you're going to choose how long you want just your hosting to last. And in a couple of days, Bluehost actually has a sale going on with some of these that make it a little bit cheaper than what it normally is. But you can go for 36 months all the way down to 12 months. And whatever you choose, you just add that to cart and just sort of follow those instructions. So once you do all of that, no, we're just gonna throw my address everywhere. But once you do all of that, you have your hosting and you have your domain. So you sort of have those basics all ready to go. And sort of the next part you're going to be doing is once you get to your WordPress portion, I'm gonna slide back over to my other one that actually has all that. We're just gonna keep going back and forth. There we go. So once you have that, you get to go back here. Once you get your hosting and your domain, you're going to start wanting to think about what you want your blog or your site to really look like. So I hardly ever look at this side of my blog. This is really just where I can buy the new URLs if I want to start a new one and check in on the hosting. But the side that I see most often is my dashboard. And so this is one for my photography site that I've done, and it'll walk you through all the steps of setting up WordPress. So log into WordPress, it just sort of connects that way. A lot of these go through WordPress because it's very easy to use. But once you do that, you'll come over here. You'll be in sort of your back office pretty much. It's where you add your blog posts. It's where you're going to be doing all of the modifications that you want to do. But the next part that you want to think about are actually the themes. And so the themes are what your blog or your website's going to look like. So these are a couple that come with WordPress when you first get this going. And they're just sort of really basic, easy to just get started. But they don't have a lot of extra features, and they don't really let you customize a whole lot just because it's supposed to be just a basic getting started. And so this one right up here is my current theme that I have that I actually bought. And if you look up on Google, you can look up like WordPress themes, and it's going to bring up a bunch of different sites. And you can sort of look through and find one that really looks the best to you. And so depending on what sort of style, you can type that in just to help narrow down your search. But once you find your theme, they range from being free to about $50. But once you buy it once, it's yours and it keeps updating. So it's just a one-time purchase. And so once you find that theme that you really like, you're going to add it onto your WordPress site, and all of them are going to try and upcharge you and sell you of doing it for you to put the theme on. to add a theme back here takes less than 5 minutes. So don't let them try and get $50 more out of you, because it takes no time at all to upload these themes. So I don't have one to upload to show right now, but if you all need help to upload those themes, like let me know and I can sort of walk through it then. But back here we have our different pages. So this one looks a little different because it's more photography based, but you have different pages and you'll have posts. You'll have different menus that you can actually sort of customize and move around. And so right up here at the top will be the name of your blog, and you can click on visit site and it's going to show you what it looks like. And so this is what I have for my photography one. And you can come up here and press customize. And there's a few other ways that you can customize it from this side. And as you're doing stuff, it usually auto updates to show you before it actually does any of the changes. So you can have like different footers. So as you go down at the very bottom, you can have different footers, different menus, and you can sort of change around what you have like up here in the top little corner. This is a menu that I have right here. And so all of that's changed right over here. You can sort of drag and drop and move them around. And so it's one of those that you can play with a good bit, and it's not going to save until you press this little publish button. So if you mess up, just click out of it and don't save it. But those are just sort of, oh, had it up twice. But those are just a couple of, here we go, the sort of basics of just getting started with starting your blog. So I just wanted to do a quick rundown of all of that for everyone. And does anybody have any questions? Let me stop sharing. Anybody have any questions? If not, if anyone has like questions as they're going through and figuring this out, like definitely just add them into the chat and I can help walk through anything. It's really step by step as you go through, and it's a lot of fun once you get it going. And it's really easy sort of just to keep it updated as well. So once you get this initial setup, it's super easy just to keep updated. But that's all I have for you all tonight, and I can't wait to read everyone's blogs. But bye.